Hi, my name is Larson and this is Larson Organizing. Today's video, I want to talk with you about some news I have for you. And the news are, there's only one place where you're going to store your stuff, and that's at home, your home. There are people who are watching this right now and are wondering why I even record this video, because it's clear to them. Of course I have my stuff at home. But there also might be people who feel slightly offended by what I'm saying. And these are the people I especially want to address this video to, because they might think of all the stuff they have at storage units, or they think of their old kids' room at their parents' house, which is still full of their stuff, or they think of their friend's cellar where they also store some boxes still. So for you guys, I have a message, and this message is there's one place where you should keep all your stuff, and that is at your home. And why is that? Out of sight, out of mind. What does it mean? Out of sight, out of minds, it's a saying which is probably well known to most of people, but it's saying things that you don't have in your sight every day, you're going to forget. So speaking in an example, if you put stuff in your cellar or leave it at your parents' house or in your friend's cellar or at a storage unit anywhere, you are gonna forget that these things exist. And to make that clear from the beginning, I'm not talking about people who are storing their boxes at their friend's place or somewhere else because they're moving or they're right now in transition phase and trying to find a new place. And I'm also not talking about your surfboard that you're storing at your surf school because it's directly next to the beach and it's stupid to always carry it from A to B. You probably know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who have gathered stuff who they don't want to deal with and store it in units at their friend's place and cellars somewhere else so they don't have to see it. So what is so bad about it? There are two things which are not ideal with this. And the one is out of the items point of view, and the second is out of the room's point of view where the item is stored. Let me talk first about the items point of view. If you're anyhow taking the time and the effort to put all your stuff in boxes and store it away in units or at your parents or at your friends, actually take the time to look at the item that you want to just store or hide away. And if you hold it in your hand, ask yourself, like, does it make me happy? Do I want to keep it? And the answer is no. Then be so courageous and honest to yourself and just discard it and not just put it in boxes and store it away. And if you hold this item and you realize, I love this item, I want to keep it, so the answer is yes.
Pardon the interruption.
If you want to keep an item, keep it close to you. Put it in your home, give it a special place, and don't just store it in a box and put it away. And now you might be thinking, okay, I love this item, but I just have a really tiny home. There's just no place for it. So what do I do now? In this case, I would really challenge you to not just go through the stuff in your basement that you maybe want to hide away, but really go through the stuff in your home, in your apartment, in your house, wherever you live, and look through all the stuff that you're having there. Is really everything that you're having in your home something that sparks joy to you, something that you want to keep, something that makes you happy? And because I'm sure that there will be something that you find which doesn't really make you happy, which would be worth it to discard it, and therefore make some space for the items which are hidden in your cellar to actually put them in your apartment. So that's the item point of view. The second point is the room's point of view. And to the fact how ridiculous it is to pay money to rent a storage unit, to then store stuff there which you don't even really want to keep because it doesn't make you happy, I think I don't even need to more elaborate on that point, that this is just stupid. But what is with rooms that we get for free, with our parents' house or cellars at friends or anywhere else where we can just store stuff and hope that our friends just never remember that we actually have some boxes at them, or our parents who don't dare to say that they actually want to do something with the room that used to be your kids' room. Don't just sit there and hope that your friend has forgotten about the box in your cellar, or maybe your parents anyhow are struggling with the fact that you moved out and now they are left with a room in their house, which just remind them of their beautiful childhood that you had there. Or they're actually happy that you moved out and they want to turn your room into a fitness room or another hobby room. Respect the room of other people. Give your friend the cellar storage room back that actually belongs to them. And also clean out your room at your parents' house so they can actually use the room for something that they want to do. That's the room's point of view. But I also in the end want to talk about something that might have come up already in your mind while I was talking about it. And that is, maybe is out of sight, out of mind is what you're actually looking for. What do I mean with that? I mean that you actually don't want to deal with the items, with the emotions, with the memories that come with it. So you on purpose just put it in a box, put it in the basement or store it somewhere else because you don't want to deal with it. So out of sight, out of mind is what you're looking for. You don't want to have this thing in your mind anymore. Let's take, for example, if you still have furniture from your parents who passed away and you locked them somewhere in a storage unit. In this case, out of sight, out of mind works because you store them away, they don't conquer you during your everyday, and you're kind of not always reminded of the fact that your parents are dead or you miss them. So out of sight, out of mind works in this case, but out of sight, out of mind doesn't mean it's out of your heart. So if you stored things away because you don't want to deal with the emotions, take the courage and actually take them out. Take them out and go through them and really decide if they're gonna spark joy, if they make you happy in your life, if you want to keep them, or if they don't. If the answer is no, then it's okay to let go of this furniture. And also let me remind you, keeping the furniture in a storage unit or somewhere in the cellar doesn't bring your parents back. And if you look at the furniture and you actually really love it and you want to keep it, then honor these pieces by bringing them into your home and using them and not letting them dust somewhere in an external storage room or in a cellar somewhere. So let's take an example of myself. My grandparents died in the year of 2013 and we had to go through the house to actually clean it out. And it happened to be the year that I also moved out from my parents. So I went through the house and looked for things that made me happy that I can actually use in my new home, my new apartment. So I happily went through their stuff and took out silverware and cooking utensils and other things that I could use for my home. And actually, I'm always proud of walking through my home and seeing and using still all the spatulas and the plants on my parents and see them blooming here. And I actually always have to laugh about it when my husband moved in and he just walked around and always broke stuff that I had to tell him like, oh great, this was from my grandparents. But in the end, it just makes me happy to use them. And I think it would make them happy too that I use their glasses, even if they break at one point, or I took their old plates and put them in the dishwasher and maybe the color goes up at one point, but I still used them and I just didn't just store them between newspapers away in boxes. So the treasures are saved and stored away. What I want to say with all of that is there's only one place where you should store your items, and that is at your home. You're gonna save time for just packing and moving your stuff from A to B and to C and D. You're gonna save money with not renting out other storage units, and you're gonna save trouble with other people, which space you're renting, and giving them the option to creating a home and environment which sparks truly joy to them. But mostly important is that you're creating this happiness inside of you with not having items which burden you stored somewhere else. Because even if you don't see them every day, they are still there, and you're worth it to yourself to go through them and find peace in your heart and peace with the items itself. And isn't that motivation enough?